Mortgage rate just jumped again. And a lot of questions from people starting to ask, what is going on? But here's the real question. Are home prices finally coming down or not? Right? And if you are here in Chandler, Arizona, the answer might surprise you because the market is not behaving the same as the headlines you see on social media. Today, I am going to break down exactly what's happening with mortgage rate, affordability, and home prices, and more importantly, what it means for you here in Chandler, Arizona. With that, let's dive right into the information. Now, the first chart I want to show you is that this is the mortgage rate. And obviously, you see here, we have been on a very nice downtrend of mortgage rates since, I would say, May or June of 2025. And then all of the sudden, March 2026 is go way back up. Crazy, right? It's around 6.0, 5.9 already, and we think, okay, this is great because it's giving a lot of buyers affordability and they can get back to the market and buy the house. And we see the trend that continue going down, but oops, things go back up. This is exactly the reason why predicting market rate is very difficult. In fact, predicting any kind of information is difficult, right? Now, why this is the jump right here? As you see in this chart, rate is from 6 to all the way almost 6.5%. Okay? Question is why? And the reality is that we are not in a normal rate environment right now. We're seeing is a short-term volatility, okay? By uncertainty. There's a lot of global conflict nowadays, right? The war between and the US and also Ukraine with the Russia and a lot of in the global scale, and is causing a lot of concern about the economy of the US and inflation as well. And that is the reason why the mortgage rate also get affected because of that. Okay? That's the reason why mortgage rate also go back up starting around March of 2026. And here's the thing. A lot of people actually think that, okay, understand that the rate will go up when the war started, right? So when the war is over, the rate will just come back down based on long-term expectation, especially inflation, not just one event, right? So even if the war ends, that doesn't mean rate will immediately go back up to where we were in February 2026. One of the experience, as you see here, okay, like right here, like causing the interest rate to go up, right? From March to May 2024, it's slowly going down. It's all the way to October. It's not like immediately go down, right? So it's slowly going down. It lasts for about 6 months. We already see another jump right here, right? It took about a year to drop down to the 6.8, 5.9 level. Immediate, what I meant. So it will take longer time for the rate as of right now to go back down again. Okay, so for the buyer, this matters a lot. Okay, because even a small change in interest rate, like a 0.5%, like we see right now, okay, can change monthly payment by hundreds of dollars. And we're talking about months or years, right? 30 years of the monthly payments that you have to deal with. Okay, we have volatile rate right now because of the situation. So I know this is a little bit warning for those of you who've been waiting for to drop, but just take one event is go back up again. So it is get rid of the entire, let's say, 6 to 8 months of drop by just one event, right? But it's gonna take longer time for the interest rate to go down to the level that we saw back in February 2026. Okay, So for those of you who timing the market, who waiting for the interest rate to go down, in fact, my advice is let's sit down actually, and then look at the monthly payment at the current interest rate. If it is in your comfortable zone, let's make a move. Let's buy a house instead of waiting for something that may happen in the future. I know a lot of you still waiting because you're afraid of high interest rate. But here's the thing, it could go higher as well, right? The thing is, sit down, look at the monthly mortgage payment. In fact, that's what I always do with my new buyer coming to see me and talk about buying a house, right? Sit down, talk about the monthly payment at the current interest rate. If the interest rate may sometime it's just one number. Okay, 6.5 is even 6, right? But here's the thing, what is the payment? Okay, so that's an easier number to understand. You compare. If it is not comfortable, then don't move forward with buying a house right now. But if it is comfortable for you at that level, do it. Okay, act instead of passively wait is not a good idea, right? So in fact, I do have a webinar coming up next week on Tuesday that you can sign up for free and attend, and I will tell you how to do it, how to calculate a monthly payment, and can compare with your current expense to see whether you feel comfortable with that or not. Okay, so feel free to scan the QR code on the left corner right here, and we're gonna talk much more in the webinar. Okay, now even though the mortgage rates go up, the good news is affordability is still improving. Okay, these are the two very important, because the blue line right here is the median home price changes by year, okay, by month. Okay, this is again price changes, it's not home price. Okay, how much change year over year each month. Okay, and the green is the median wage growth. Okay, when we look the affordability, something important is happening. For the past few years, home price was rising much faster than the income. Okay, what I meant that when looking at 2024 right here, this period right here where you see the blue line is above the green line, that means the home price change way more than the wage, the income, right? And then similarly for this period right here, November of 2024 to January of 2025, right, it's grow higher than the median wage. But now the price changing is only about 1 to 2% since May of 2025 across the country. Meanwhile, the median price, the median wage actually doesn't change much, and in fact is right around 4%, constantly. What does that mean? It means income is starting to catch up with home price. Right, finally there. A lot of people are gonna have more and more income on the basic to support the high home after the COVID. Okay, and that one the biggest reason why affordability is still actually improving even today, even though the rate is go back up. Okay, and this some buyers today are actually better positioned than the buyers 2 years ago. Okay, because 2 years ago we actually have higher interest rate, as you see right now, even though it is go back up, but it's still lower than 2 years ago in March 2024, right? Today we actually see again March 2024. We have a high, the median income is high as the home price change, but today the home price change is much less than the income growth. Okay, affordability doesn't just come from lower rate. Okay, it comes from the relationship, the income and the price as well. So for this reason, like I said, I think the very important for the buyers to answer the question whether you should buy in today's market is just not look at only the rate. Okay, the rate is one thing, it helps, but then look at the relationship between the income, the price, and the monthly budgets that you have to deal with to see whether it makes or not in your situation, and that will give you full pictures of whether you should buy or not in today's market, rather than just make the decision based on the lower rate, right? So when you look at the situation, okay? Now, that's enough talking about an affordability. Let's look at home price specifically. In front of you right here is the Arizona home prices by year. Each of the line is the home price, the median, the annual median sale price for each year, okay? 2025 is the pink. This chart, you don't see 2026, okay? Well, that's actually the 2026. We remove 2025, okay? When I remove 2025, you actually see the 2026 here, okay? I want to talk about, this is where a lot of confusion come in, okay? So what you will 2026 prices are still at the highest level we've seen in years in Arizona, okay? They are actually higher than in 2023, okay? So, and then when compare with 2025, it's pretty much matching with the price of 2025 so far, right? 2025 is at the at the highest level. So predicting 2026 will be also at the highest level as well. So what does that mean? This means prices are not dropping. So those of you who worry about home prices in Arizona are going to drop because of the high interest rate and because you see a lot of home prices dropping the price, okay? And you say, for sure, home price in Arizona are gonna drop. This may not be the case because here's the thing, look at this again, okay? I'm gonna remove 2025, we are in March, and look at this. Every single dot of 2026 pretty much match with 2025. So there's no signal whatsoever that the price is dropping down, okay? It's still right now at very high end, because this is highest, okay? So price didn't drop, they at the top, okay? You see that 2024 right here, it's go up, okay? 2025 pretty much one line of 450, and now going to 2026 is pretty much the same, okay? They are not going backward, okay? They're moving sideways at the red levels at a very long time, okay? So home prices actually didn't change, okay? So let's look at the Chandler, okay? Before we Chandler, look at the percentage of changes in Arizona, okay? So this is similar to the chart right here, okay? It's just in a column instead of a line, right? But you can see the line here. This shows the percentage of change every month for the last couple of years, okay? You give a clearer picture. February 2025, right here, around here, okay? Home prices have basically flat. Sometimes it's go down to -1.2, but sometimes it go to 0, sometimes it go down again, sometimes it go up, down, up, 0, 0, 0.5, -1.8, 0, 0, 0.06. Okay, very small up and down. You can see that there's basically no movement since February of 2025. There's no significant movement like this. 7.5%, 2.2, 2.2, 5.3%. Those are significant moves. Maybe a drop in February in 2023, right? This is a significant move. This one right here, this period right here is pretty much keep flat, okay? No big deal, no big growth. Now, what about Chandler? Okay, let's get into Chandler because this is where the thing gets really interesting. What you notice is that in Chandler behave different than the Arizona overall. You see a bigger increase, okay? Like 6.7, 3.8, 5. Back here, you only see a little of increase, but then it's also go down much more as well in a couple months, right? So you see bigger change in Chandler versus Arizona as a whole. So what does that mean? It means Chandler is more reactive, okay? When the market goes up, Chandler faster. When the market slow down, Chandler also adjusts faster as well. But here's the most important part. Over time, the upward movement is still stronger than the downward, okay? You see more upward than the downward, okay? So Chandler doesn't move smoothly, but it trend upward. Bigger swing, but stronger long-term growth. So why Chandler? And here's the reason, it's simple. Chandler is in the very high demand area. They have a strong job market. There's a lot of big company name in the area. Intel, GM, maybe ASU also in the proximity distance, right? Good school district, lifestyle and location, super convenient. They have like a pre-freeway around the 101, the 202, and the US 60 as well. So it's basically very convenient for everyone to get to everywhere. Okay, that's the reason why. So when demand changes, Chandler react quickly. Okay, for the buyer, this means timing more. For the seller, it means pricing strategy matter more. Okay, don't just put in a random number. The pricing strategy will give you a better advantage compared to other competition on the market. Okay, so if we put everything together, today we see that rate had changed, increased dramatically since March of 2020. Since February of 2026. Although affordability is improving, okay, you see that the home price is not as much as the weight at the income change. Arizona price pretty much is flat since February of last year, okay, but Chandler has more dynamic. It's much bigger, much more up or much more down compared to Arizona market as a whole. Okay, this is the indication that is not crashing at all. It's a stabilizing market. Okay, and more importantly, the market is the same everywhere, even within Arizona. As you see here, Arizona as a whole is differently. Chandler is also differently. Okay, so if you're thinking about buying, selling here in Chandler, Arizona, don't just rely on the national headlines or even Arizona-wide data. Your strategy needs to match what's happening right here locally in Chandler. If you want to help me break down your situation, whether you buy or sell or just planning, reach out to me, and I hope you understand exactly what the market means for you. I do have a webinar coming up next week on Tuesday, and I have to see you all there at the webinar so that I go much more detail into the home buying process for first-time home buyers, specifically for 1099 earners, for those who do not have the stable income. But I'm sure it will give you, even if you have a stable income, it will give the benefit as well. So I'll see you there. Thank you. Bye-bye.